Let's do it. Let's do it. Mind, body, soul check. You know, it's Joe Dash again. I'm in my zone, and I'm joined today on the Joe Dash Effect by my illustrious. I love this woman. I love what she does. I'm such a fan. So I'm having a fan moment here, guys. Just bear with me.
Oh my gosh.
Because her energy and just what she does and delivers, especially when she mixes up with the soca and it's just a different vibe and energy. And I realized no matter how bad things are, we can learn a lot from this woman, because we can learn that no matter how it gets, there's always darkness before dawn, okay? And it's important. So, Ro, welcome to the show.
What an introduction. You need to be like the king of introductions, I'm telling you. That was wicked. Thank you.
I've been practicing. Let me lie to my audience. I've been practicing. Ro, how have you been?
I am good. I'm good. We're back in a lockdown in the UK.
For sure.
But it's okay. It's okay.
How have you been handling it from the first lockdown? How did you handle the first one?
I feel like it's always the announcement comes, and then I have this moment of, okay. That's me. What am I gonna do? Okay.
Getting pumped.
I gotta prepare for it, right. And then I would have thought about it, and then I wake up and I'm like, okay, boom.
Right.
Let's go. This is what we're going to do. So I have that couple of hours where I'm just like, right, okay, let me just get my everything together. And then boom, we go for it. And that is what we did. Lockdown 1, we said before any national lockdown announcement happened, I was in Trinidad. Okay. The beautiful island of Trinidad and Tobago.
My bucket list. Trinidad is on my bucket list.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Anyone that's gone there has said nothing but heaven and paradise. So
my gosh,
it's on my bucket list.
It's where my family's from, so I'm slightly biased. But
okay, so you're Trinidadian.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been wondering where you're from. I'm not gonna lie.
Sorry.
I've been wondering where you're from. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, people always think different things. They always think, oh, is she Brazilian? Is she Indian? But yeah, no. My mum's side is from Trinidad and Tobago and Carriacou. And my dad's side is from England.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be trying to work it out, man. I'm like, where is she from? Like, Jesus. So come second lockdown, how was that? Because you were meeting through the first one. How was the second lockdown?
Yes, so the second lockdown, as in, are we counting this as the second?
No, this is the third one. Remember, we came out for a bit and we went back in October, November or something like that. And then this is the third time because we're in tier 5 now. We're not in tier 4.
Yeah. It's all kind of just merged into one now. But I feel like after the first lockdown, I kind of prepared everything. So the first lockdown, I started kind of getting everything virtual. I got my whole set up.
Yes. That famous background, man. That background's as famous as you.
Yeah,
that background is as famous as Ro. I'm telling you, man. You gotta rock it with Ro. And I like the name too. How did you come up with the name?
It was a process. So I'm just there, like throwing words out there. I've actually still got the note on my phone.
Wow, that's gonna be worth millions one day.
Yeah, where I came up with all of I just started listing names. Then I was looking at it and I was like, let's rock it. Like it's going to be right down at the bottom, but it's literally, I came up with the name just by literally putting words together. And I was like, we're going to rock it. Let's rock it. You got to come rock it with Ro. Like that, it just eventually came together. And then I had a completely different tagline. I can't even remember what it was now.
Okay.
It's one of those times you look back and you're like, oh, did I say that?
You could have sold it. Whatever it was, I'm sure you could have sold it.
Yeah. The ultimate dance, fitness and wellness company. But yeah, we went online in the first lockdown.
Right.
And then we stayed online. My like audience started to grow, as in my rockets, and they started to be international rockets. So
I love that, rockets. I love that.
My rockets.
I love that. The rockets. I love that.
Everyone, no matter what you do, if you get yourself some rocket wear, if you come and take part in a class, if you get some rocket equipment, you are a rocket. You've rocked it.
The hoodies are nice too. I love the hoodies. The hoodies are fire. Look at that. She's rocking a rocket hood.
So we got black and we got orange, of course.
I like that. That's dope.
I never went offline. I stayed online.
Makes sense. It makes sense. You have to adapt, right?
Exactly. All my practical classes, work around my online classes. But the online classes, because I've got my international rockets, we need to
Of
stay. We can't
course.
change it. Yeah.
Of course, you're worldwide. That's just how it runs. So I want to talk about how you grew up. Now let's go back to young Ron.
Mm,
Where did you
yeah.
grow up? Did you grow up in the UK or Trinidad?
UK. I am born and bred in Sutton, Surrey, southwest London, kind of.
Okay. You see, because
Yeah.
what happens is for the rest of us, we were sitting and I'm like, is she from the ends? Is she not? Where's she from? She has the energy of the end, but she's not from the end. Like, I am confused about this girl. What's going on? I'm
Yeah.
trying to pinpoint it, right? So you grew up in Sutton. Are you an 80s baby, 90s baby?
I'm a 90s baby. Is she a
Okay.
90s baby? Get it, get
You
it,
grew up in Sutton. You went to school in Sutton, I take it?
Yes, yeah.
Just again. When did
Good
you ever
in
live in
Sutton.
London? Do you live in London now? Or are you still in Sutton?
Still in Sutton. So it's so nice because I can go in and go out with ease. Like I do so much. I've got so many different jobs in central London and everything as well. It's
Right.
literally 20 minutes. So on
Yeah,
the
it's not
train.
far. It's not far.
Mhm.
I told
No.
you, you have siblings? You have siblings?
Yes, I've got an older sister and she now lives in Chicago. So she's not here anymore.
So it's in the States.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
wow.
yeah, that's my older sister. She's awesome. Caroline. She's a samba queen. So yeah, she's wicked.
So she does the samba. You do the rocket with roll with the soca in it.
Exactly.
Man, it's a musical family. Was anyone else in your family musical or into
My
all
mum
these
wishes
things?
she was a ballerina. She thinks she really
Wow.
could have been a ballerina, but I'm not sure.
Man, so I mean, what were you like in school? Were you into fitness in school? What were you up to?
I mean, I was genuinely, I was an all-rounder.
Okay, you into everything.
What's funny is the fact that when I was young, so I've been dancing since I was 3.
Right.
I've been dancing since I was 3, but I couldn't dance until I was about 8.
I like that. I've been dancing since I was 3, but I couldn't dance until I was 8. I love the honesty. I love the honesty. I love it.
I had no rhythm. I was that girl. I'm sure you've all seen that meme or that video where that little girl is leaning across in front of everyone, looking at everyone doing the ballet. That's me. And then it was when I started going to carnival.
Yeah.
When I was younger, wearing costume at carnival.
Right.
The road took my soul. It took my soul. I found my rhythm. I was on the floor. I was whining. I was walking up. That's it. I was done.
I think if half the people tried to move the way you move, they'll break a hip, a couple more joints, get a stroke, because she makes it look so easy. Be always be prepared for people that make things look easy because they've been doing it for years. Don't get forward and start brucking and bruck every part of your waistline.
No, you need to come rock it.
Your waistline, okay? But
learn.
So when you found out, like, did you ever think to yourself, like, raw, like, I'm gonna do something with all this energy? How did you decide that fitness was the way? Like, okay, you get to the carnival, you find your rhythm. How do you decide, okay, I'm going to make a living getting people
from fitness?
Yeah.
Yes, it was never the case. It was never the case. I am a dancer first.
Okay.
So I'm actually a dancer. And I did stuff like backing dancing and all of that jazz. I did choreography. I became a qualified teacher, so to teach children when I was 17. And I started teaching kids in schools and at dance schools. I worked for an amazing company called Aim High Dance Academy. And then I'm that person that does something and kind of really gives it my all. And then it's like, okay, what is next? Because this can't be it. I kind of got to the tip with that. So then I went to uni.
Yeah. What did you study?
Professional dance and performance.
Oh, sick. Which uni did you go to?
I went to Bucks in High Wycombe.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting everything's pretty much out of London, or at least to the outskirts of London. I'm not talking to a London girl. I need to remember that
that was me. No, don't say that, because I've always said I'm from South London. I've always said it. I've always said
Sutton. Sutton's not really London. It kind of is, but it really isn't. And it's Sutton, and Sutton has its own vibe and energy. Because to be honest, I love going outside London. As someone that grew up in London, I love going outside. I love going to these small towns. I really like how communal it is, how everyone knows each other, sort of. Because I miss that. You know, I'm from West Africa, so I love communities where people kind of just know, like, I know her mom. So
Yeah.
I go to places like Sutton or other, just the outskirts like Kent and other places. I love how communal it is. I've always admired that.
Wicked.
So
Yeah.
when you're doing the fitness thing, right? So you're teaching kids, you're part of
Hmm.
this Aim High because I've heard of them before. So they
Oh,
must have
yeah, sick.
yeah, I've heard them before.
Yeah.
And so you're doing all this stuff.
Mm,
When did the fitness bit say rock
exactly.
it with roll? Because you could have gone a
When
nine
did
to
the
five.
fitness?
How do you
Yeah.
decide you're gonna do your own business? Because you
Yeah.
are a businesswoman. So how did
Exactly. So the fitness side,
mm,
I actually, before the fitness side even came about,
mm-hmm.
I finished my degree at uni. I started working in events.
Okay, what kind of
I
events?
started working in events. So at my university, I then got a job organising the activities and events that happened at the uni.
Mm-hmm.
Was helping to do that. And then I even went into working at a nightclub called Tonteria and organising their reservations and helping with the events there as well. So then I started doing all of this stuff. And I was like, okay, I've got all of this experience now. Then I went into the business side of dance whilst
Okay.
I'm still dancing as well. So I'm still dancing, still auditioning, still training. And I became the personal assistant to an amazing creative director and choreographer. Awesome.
Wow.
Awesome experience. I learned so much. And when I got there, I was like, yeah, this is it, I'm doing it. But whilst I started working there,
Yeah.
I started going to the gym like hardcore. I was ripped. Well, maybe not like ripped like some people, but I was ripped.
I know you mean. You it was happening for you. It was happening. I feel you.
I was going for it. It was wicked. And then I was like, okay, yeah, I really love this. I really love dance. I really love fitness. I'm doing this PA stuff. And it got to a point where I was like, okay, right. The PA stuff is taking everything out of me. I'm giving, when you're a personal assistant, you give everything to that person. They'll call you 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. They need to done. Of course, like as in, if you're a full-time personal assistant, it's literally like Devil Wears Prada. Have you seen that film?
Oh yeah, I've seen that film.
You see how you're running around for someone else the whole time.
Wow, is it real? I thought it was just movies. I didn't know it was like real life. I thought it was just movies.
You organize their life essentially, don't you?
Yeah,
it depends what you do.
Like, how does it work if you're working at 9 to 5? I'm like, what's that? Is that extra pay? Is it just there's lost overworking people?
It's by the hour, isn't it? So it's just however many you work and you work it out. But it's if they've got something wrong with them, you're going to be their first point of call. If they need to go to the hospital, if they need something, you're going to be the first person they call. So I was like, okay, I cannot do this anymore. I can't do it anymore. My mum, who is like my rock, she was like, hand in your notice. And I was like, okay, I'm doing it.
That's so dope, man. Mothers, man, irreplaceable.
Honestly, I had no idea what I was doing. No idea. I handed it in and it was almost like Rocket with Roe, like a rocket landed on my head. Okay. I gave him that notice and the whole idea, it hit me. And I was like, I need to leave here. I need to go and put dance and fitness together. I need to go and do my fitness qualifications.
Right.
I just from there had that mission that is what I was doing.
How long ago is this now? We're talking. How long?
So the company turned 1 in May. And
this is recent.
Yeah, the company turned 1 in May, and then I became qualified in the January. So that was 4 or 5 months until that I launched the company. Yeah.
For people that don't know, if you look at Rocket with Roll, you think they've been here for 10 years, killing it. Because I love, like, this is what I talk about on my podcast about dedication and commitment. Some people are so dedicated that they make it look easy. And then when you start trying it, you realize, oh, this is not their first time doing it. These people have been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
And the way you made it look easy and the way you were just motivating people, I've literally, when you watch Rocket with Roll videos, you think she's talking to you. She's like, come on, my Rockets, you got to get up. You move the line this way. You're like, she's talking to me. Like,
I'm going,
yeah, like, you know what I mean? I'm so used to seeing your orange background now. Like I said, that your background is even just as famous as you. You know what I mean? It's part of your look. And I love the way you adapted to the situation, because you could have just been lost or figure out where to go. You're like, okay, no, I got to go online, say no more. Let's go.
Yeah. Did it.
Did you, is there anything you can look at in your, think about back as far as to your childhood of, who was your parents are a big influence in your life, but how did you learn to have this go-getter mentality? How did you learn to kind of say, when I want something, I'm going to go after it? Where did that come from? That's always interesting.
I mean, genuinely, I do think it's my mum. She's always, the way that she's raised me and my sister, it's just like the world is our oyster. And like, kind of, you go for something, you need to just get up and go. And I've always, I've always been that child where nothing gets to me.
Oh, okay,
Like
cool.
I could have probably had rocks thrown at me as a kid, and I would have picked it up and been like, "Oh, you dropped something!" Like, like I wouldn't have seen it as an evil. I don't know. It's like I've always,
Wow.
yeah.
That's
It's
incredible. That's incredible. That
yeah.
is definitely incredible. When you're studying fitness and stuff like that, what is your view on fitness in the social media era? Would you say fitness has
Mm.
become more popular during this time? Are people, do you find yourself more and more people are really trying to get into it? What's your view on the fitness industry at this time?
I mean, it's there's fitness people popping up left, right, and centre, isn't there? They're everywhere at the moment. No, but it's true. It's not only have we entered a time where so many people's job opportunities have changed, so many people have been made redundant, so many people are finding things that work for them and their mental health and their happiness. And for a lot of
Right.
people going into fitness, they've found their happiness through that. And whether they've wanted to go further and teach or learn or just
Absolutely.
do lives or something, there's a lot more people that have the time to be able to do that. So yeah, there's quite a few more instructors that have.
It's popped up everywhere. What made you want to combine the soca? Because I think that's very quite unique in its way. Some people
That's
do it,
me.
but I
Yeah.
think you embody it in a way that I haven't
Mhm.
seen before. You kind of, if you can see genuinely there's a connection, like you catch a flow, and then even
Mhm.
though when I'm watching and I'm like, okay, let me get some little bits in and stuff like that, because I'd watch different people for different
Yeah.
reasons. Sometimes
Yeah.
I just want to get my blood running, I just want to get up and down, so
And
people like
go and have
yourself,
fun.
and just
Yeah.
yeah, because this the fun element. Now,
100%.
I mean, you know, your mom's giving you this platform of the world is your oyster, so you've got this
Yeah.
go-getter mentality. You're adapting
Yeah.
to the lockdown. All this is happening, and the business is only a year old, so
Yeah.
it's not even been that long.
Nope.
How do you stand out when everybody's a fitness instructor? Like
Yeah.
everyone does fitness. Like, how do you stand out?
I feel like everything has happened in my life for a reason, and everything I put out there, it's genuine, and it's this is me and this is the life I live, and I genuinely just want to spread my love for my Caribbean culture, for my dance, for my history, for the knowledge of all of everything that I've learned along the way onto other people. And I'm glad that that message kind of relays back to people, because people that don't even listen to soca, have never even heard it before, all of a sudden love it because they come along to these sessions, and that's what is important to me. And also
Absolutely.
spreading the knowledge of Caribbean culture, where this music came from.
That's
Even
true.
at Christmas, I only played parang music at
Mm,
Christmas. Some people have never heard of parang before. What is parang? And it's a much slower tempo with Spanish influences from when Venezuela originally came over to Trinidad and stuff like that. And everyone
okay.
loved it, having those
Okay.
Latin influences in the session. And that is a passion for me, being able to educate as well as do what I love at the same time.
That's
So
amazing. That's
yeah,
amazing. I didn't even know they had Latin influence. I didn't even know Venezuela even went to Trinidad and stuff like that. You
yeah,
know what
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Because normally all my Trinidadian friends are all light skinned. And I'm just like, is it a thing? I don't know what's going on. All my Trinidadian brothers are light skinned. And
yeah.
I'm
It's
just like, is
crazy.
there some, because I thought there was some, I knew there was some Latin connection somewhere, but I didn't have
Mm-hmm.
enough information to really
Yeah,
pull it together. Because you can
yeah.
tell in those parts of the world, dance is a big thing. Indigenous culture, dance. So
Mm-hmm.
fitness doesn't necessarily mean, you know, death by treadmill, but just,
Mm-hmm. No.
you know what I mean? Yeah, you know, some people are like, I got to do an hour on the treadmill. No, but
Yeah,
the element of just dance, of freeing oneself and moving in
that's
emotion to a rhythm, you know, how would you tell people, say someone that's never danced in a fitness type
mm.
thing, what can they expect? What kind of experience can they expect,
I
really?
literally
Right,
people that repost me, they always say, if you want to have a good time,
right.
go to this class, because
Yep.
it's just like you're putting music on in your house, and we make working out fun. That's it. To me, dancing, it shouldn't be a task. Working out shouldn't be this crazy task.
Yeah.
It should feel fun, and like you're letting this tension and stress of your day
Right.
go and just have a good time
Absolutely.
hard without actually realizing that you
You're
are. My
working
sessions
hard.
are only 30 minutes. The sessions I put out there are only 30 minutes, and you burn a minimum of 300 calories in a 30-minute session.
Imagine that.
That's saying
Imagine
something.
that. So in 30
Yeah.
minutes, you can lose 300 calories.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Rocking it with Ro. That's what's up. Rocking it with Ro. And that's on Instagram as well. So if you go on Instagram, it's literally at Rock It with Ro.
Yeah.
And then you can also be part of the little members. What's they called? The
Squad. Rocket with Ro Body Squad.
Rock It Ro Body Squad. So you can join up with that as well. So remember, when
Yeah.
we come out of lockdown, we're gonna have the summer of our lifetime. And you want to be able to be working out with Ro. When you get out there, you feel good about yourself. No matter how you look, you just feel good about yourself because you put in work and you have the best time of your life. Because I always say, like my wife was telling me, like, look, we're gonna have the best summer ever because we've been in prison.
100%.
It's like we've been away for so long. It's gonna be a long queue in the airport, stretching down from Heathrow down back to central London because we just want to leave. We've had enough, right? One of the things I really love about people like you and or the fitness people is that you guys have become, without the lockdown and pandemic, fitness instructors, if we look at it really in its honest context, people just like, yeah, I just get to it when I get to it. It wasn't nobody's priority per se.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, if you're a gym buff or you're into fitness, yes, you know the Rhonas of the world. But if you're really not, you're kind of like, But what's happened during the pandemic is that the fitness lot have come to the forefront. And actually, they're saving you from a mental breakdown,
100%.
emotional breakdown. Like they are your doctor before your doctor, if that makes sense. What's your views on that?
You just literally said facts right there. It's 100%. And that is a big thing with my squad as well. It's not just about the fitness. It's a full mind, body and spirit experience. So many people are going through such a hard time at the moment. So in our squad, you've jumped in, you've been in the squad, we've got wellbeing instructors come along and do talks. We've got a book club, like at the moment we're reading The Secret, and I've got my vision board right here. We made a vision board.
We're going to talk about that later. Leave that for a minute. We're going to talk about it because I want to talk about that vision board because I think it's so important. So but cool. I think you should write a book though, Ro. I think you should write a book. I'm an author. I'm so biased. I think people with interesting stories and something positive to give the world should leave a footprint.
100%.
So I think and the book doesn't necessarily have to be about fitness. It could be like with your relationship with fitness.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is incredible. So I think I'm an author. I'm biased. I'm like, hey, I think interesting people that I meet should write books because there's gonna be generations of I say this all the time to my friends. I'm like, listen, our era that we're living in now is so profound that 1,000 years from now, we are going to be in history books. We are going to be in a history lesson because the first 20 years of the 21st century has been anarchy. It's been insane. In the past 21 years, we've seen so much nonsense. And I think, didn't they storm the Capitol building like yesterday or the day before?
I couldn't even. When I saw it yesterday, I was just like, what?
It's like a movie, right? It's like we're living in a movie. If we actually look at it, it feels like, is this really happening? Is this really a thing? Like, when have they ever stormed the Capitol building? You know what I'm saying?
How was that allowed? It's the videos that are happening where it's like memes of people just handing over keys, like, come inside. It's just what is going on.
It don't make no sense. This is why I tell people, look, the world is crazy right now. And obviously, a lot of people have been laid off. Some people on furlough. Some people are really going through a tough time. But the fitness people, the fitness industry has stepped up to really, and because I want my listeners to really, really understand, because we need to have a different type of appreciation for the fitness people because
100%.
Mind and body are linked. Your movement is linked to how clear your mind is. So after a Rocket with Ro session, you're relieved. You've got anything bad on your mind or anything that's gone. Is gone. So you can get back to living your best life as we've been coining for the past long. What does Rocket Ro look like, for example, in 5 years? What does Rocket with Ro look like as a business?
Rocket with Ro is going to be a household name. Rocket with Ro is going to be a household name. That's exactly what I want to say. It's going to be a household name. Everyone's going to want to rock it. I've already got my own home workout series, which is a DVD, and I'm going to keep expanding on that. I'm going to have my own teaching academy so more people can learn my mentality and my ethos and then take it to different places and teach Rocket with Ro sessions as well, for sure.
That is amazing. That's a nice find. Is that what's on the vision board?
Well, not this vision board, but on one of my vision boards. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You have multiple vision boards. See, levels to this thing. So for the rest of it, I've just got one vision board. Some people got 10. They've got 10 different types of visions.
There's a reason. There's a reason for that, because you don't just have one set of goals. If you're looking at your work and all of that, like this is what I did with the squad the other day. And I said, okay, let's talk about where we want Rocket with Rose to be at the end of the year. And then we drifted off and we said, okay, let's talk about a retreat. And then we started to talk about a Rocket retreat. Went into so much detail about what that was going to look like. That whole vision board is about a Rocket retreat. So that's why you can't just have one vision board, because you've got long-term goals, you've got short-term goals, and then there's all this other stuff in between that you want to achieve as well. What does that actually look like?
That's true. That's true. So now we're talking about the vision boards, because I think when was it, on Tuesday, right? So a few days back. It's actually Thursday now when I recorded this. A few days back, you had, when I came on live, just before I came on live, you were doing the vision board thing, and I missed parts of that. I only caught the part with his lashes filters, and I saw like, is Joe gonna have lashes too? And I was like, I hope not. I think I don't have enough for the computer to use. I think they're gonna have to, paint it on me or something like that. But talk to us about the vision boards and why vision boards are important.
Oh my gosh. One of my main quotes is aspire to inspire. Like
aspire to inspire. What does that mean? Let's break that down.
A big goal of mine is to inspire others to be better, to do better, to want more, to reach for their goals. The sky is your limit. If I can inspire other people to do that, which I do, I can proudly say that I do that, then boom. That's it. And that's what vision boards are as well. They're not just, oh, this is pretty. It's reaching for your goals, and it's affirming that you are going to do this. You are going to achieve this. That is what vision boarding is about. It's making sure that you are actually calling your goals into existence. You're speaking it in. This is going to happen. It is going to happen.
Yes, what's up? Manifesting that vision, right? Exactly. So what does a typical day look like for Ro? What do you do like when you get up? What time do you get up?
Do you actually want to know?
I'm an early person. I'll tell you now, I'm an early person. I love the mornings. There's something about waking up in the morning. I'll get up, for example, I'll get up in the morning and I'll just thank God I'm alive. I'll just give thanks. Like, another day to make my dreams come true, another day to help people. So I go through this mental mantra. So in the morning for you, what time do you, because I'll get up early, because normally I'm used to school runs and stuff like that. So I love getting up in the morning. Naturally. I feel like I get a head start on my day. That's what I have in my head anyway. I don't know if there's anything scientific about it, but
no, it's good. It's good.
I love mornings. I'm a morning person. You know what I'm saying? So, So what was the typical day like? What time do you get up, and then what do you do?
I naturally, my mind is alive at 5. It wakes up at 5. Mm-hmm. Don't know why. And some days I'm like, stop it, go back to sleep. But I naturally wake up at 5. Don't get out of bed at 5. Right. I say that I wake up properly, and what I do is I like to have a moment of meditation in the morning and just prepare myself for the actual day. Mm-hmm. And I'll just breathe. I'll have a little look. I'll have a glass of water. I'll look out my window. Then I'll get up. I shall have some water. I'll look at my to-do list for the day. Then maybe I'll go back to bed. Maybe I'll start doing some emails, but I never do emails. I never go to emails until about 7. So I might look at it, but I won't answer anything until about 7 at least. Yeah.
Okay. So by the time it's like 10, 11 towards 12, what are you doing?
So basically, if I'm not at least 3/4 of the way through my to-do list by 12, then oh my gosh, it's wild. My to-do list needs to be basically done by 12, because most days I'm teaching by 1. Most days I've already taught a 7 a.m. class. There's so much that's happening.
And when what do you eat? What do you find time to eat? What's the Rocket with Ro diet?
Rocket with Ro, the Ro diet. I find that my diet has to be, I have to keep eating because I'm burning constantly. Like if I'm up, some days I haven't got class at 6.
Okay.
Companies like to work out before they start work. So like a breakfast workout or something like that. So I'll do a morning workout. Then after that I have a coffee in the morning. I have 1 coffee a day, and it's just in the morning and only Monday to Friday.
She gave us a secret serum. It's coffee that's doing all this.
Yeah, but it's only one coffee a day. A ginger shot as well, first thing in the morning. homemade ginger shot.
What about lunch?
Lunch, breakfast. Breakfast, I actually have a crumpet. I like a crumpet.
Like crumpet. Wow. People wouldn't even know that about you. You crumpet.
That's like a cheeky little, but not every day as well. But I do like a crumpet. I just feel like it hits a spot, and then that's it. That's my cheeky peanut butter crumpet done. Lunchtime for me is, I really try to stick to 50% carbs, 25% protein, 50% veg, 25%.
Oh, so 50% carbs. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what are you trying?
50% veg, 25% carbs, and 25% protein at lunch. I try to stick to that all the time. And that's usually, and most of my stuff is gluten-free pasta or rice, chicken, fish. But yeah, I eat at lunch, and then dinner is way less carbs. I hardly have carbs at dinner.
Okay. Have you always eaten good like that? Or is it kind of developed as you're in an adult age?
My thing is that I have always loved food. I've never been fussy with food. I've always loved it. And I said to you in our live the other day as well, that I actually can't really have dairy. I can't have dairy. I didn't know that it was a thing that some people can't have dairy. So I was just having dairy and then feeling really sick afterwards. So it wasn't until I realized, okay, I actually can't have dairy, that I started to think more mindfully in that sense, and I don't have it anymore. But no, I've always eaten, I used to eat a lot more red meat than I do now, but I've always experimented and had more food, really. Yeah.
Okay, you enjoy your food still, but you try and make sure that it's as quality as it can be.
Yeah.
What about snacking? What's your favorite snack?
Oh my gosh. So I have always loved crisps and dip.
Crisp and dip. What Doritos?
Yeah, like Doritos and dip.
So you're a natural woman.
Yeah, I love them. Crisps and dip. When I was at uni and I was writing my dissertation, that was like the worst for crisps and dip. I would just go through it all the time. So that my third year of uni.
Where did you go to again?
Bucks in High Wycombe.
Bucks in High Wycombe, that's it.
Yeah, I was the biggest I've ever been. And for me, that was big. And when I look back at those pictures, I'm like, oh my God. And that's all the crisps and dip that I was having all the time.
Have you ever shared that? Are you going to share it on social media?
How big? I mean, when I say I was big, it's not going to be, oh, you were big. But for me, it was big. Like it was big. I'm a size 8, UK size 8. And I was probably like 10, 12, going to a size 10.
I get what you mean. For yourself, what you're used to, you were big.
Yeah.
Not trying to say it was bigger than, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, because you're very active. So naturally you burn more than like the average person. Now I totally get it.
Yeah.
It's like any of your other siblings into like fitness like that?
Well, my sister's into Samba, but it's not her. My sister works in health PR. So she has been like a director of the Samba schools, and she was the queen of a Samba school, but she is like heavily Samba. So she keeps, I don't know if you've seen how fast they move their feet.
No, to be honest, I put it down one time. I put it on one of my to-do lists. I'm like, you know what? I want to be able to go to like a dance class, like more stuff, because I realized that apart from people, you know, obviously losing loved ones during the lockdown, people losing jobs, and just that's the downside of it. 2020 has actually made me realize that there's so much fun things. Because I realize when I travel, I realize London is such a lit city, but I take it for granted because I grew up here.
Yeah.
But I don't realize how lit London is as a city, how vibrant it is. Because when I go to other places, I'm like, this is dead. Like some places, I'm like, man, I thought it was going to be more because I'm a London boy. I'm used to city life. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of them crazy ones where I was like, you know what? Samba and them little, because other culture, I love experiencing other cultures.
Yeah.
I think it grows the spirit and the soul when you experience other cultures. And Latin America is one of the places on my bucket list. So is Trinidad and Barbados. Because I was like, I want to go see how different groups of Black people live from a cultural aspect. Because I'm like, I want to know the food. Like, I don't even know what Trinidadian food is. What is like, what is that? Because I don't know. Give me some of the typical Trinidadian delicacies. So when we pull up somewhere, we know what to order. You need
to order a doubles.
Yeah, doubles. What is
it? Doubles is... Right, so there's these two things, and they're called barras, and they are like, do you know what roti is?
Yeah, I know what roti is, yeah.
Okay, cool. So just to explain, it's almost like mini rotis,
Okay.
and there's two of them, so that's why it's called doubles.
Oh,
And then they're put together, and inside of it is like a chickpeas and sauces, and it's just incredible. And you just have it together, and you just chuck it in your mouth, and it's amazing. It's like a snack. It's so good.
doubles. Okay, I got to pull up on the doubles. What else? What else?
You gotta have roti for sure.
Yeah, roti,
For sure,
definitely,
for
definitely.
sure. You have to. This isn't really. So in Trinidad we call it gyros.
Gyros. What's that?
It's like a snack food, and I know that like if there's Greek people that are going to listen to this, they're going to say it's gyros. No, we say gyros, and it is wicked. You can have whatever you want in it: prawns, chicken,
Right.
and it's just filled with goodness. Oh my gosh!
Oh wow.
Trini food is very carby though. It's very
I
carby.
was gonna say, is it more carbohydrate based?
Yes. We have one of our traditional dishes is called a pilau, and it's like, I don't know why this is how big we make pots every time. This is the pot, and it's just like caramelized chicken and rice. It's just like a big rice dish of chickens. Like different countries have different versions, their own versions.
Okay,
Obviously,
what do you mean? It's got the chicken in it. It's got the veg in it and stuff like that. It's got different things in it. It's like a fried rice. I think that's how the Orientals.
Oh, you're back. You're back. Even like there's jollof and stuff as well, which everyone knows. Everyone knows what jollof is, but that's obviously a country's traditional rice dish.
Absolutely.
Pilau is Trinidad's traditional dish, you know?
Okay. Well, pilau. Okay, and you got to get some doubles in there. Very carb based. What about like vegetation and what's the famous veggies over there?
Oh,
Can't leave our vegetarians out now, can we? We can't leave them out. What kind of
course
what can they be? What can they pull up on? I'm a veggie because I know, like, okay,
you have to have mangoes. You have to have mangoes. You have to have Trini mangoes for sure.
I tell people now, if you grew up in a tropical part of the world, mango is one of the most juiciest, sweetest.
It's completely different.
You will salivate over some mango in the Caribbean. I know that. I grew up in West Africa on the equator, so I have the same tropical weather as the Caribbeans do.
Exactly.
And I know when you touch that mango, when you come to England, touch English mango, you be like, it's an insult to what real mango is. And my Caribbean brothers and sisters know exactly what I'm talking about. It is a different flex. And there's different species of mango that I didn't even know about. You know what I mean? Complete different species of mango that are just all flavorsome and so forth. When you were doing Rocket with Ro, like, did you ever think like, okay, you know what? I can do this in schools. Have you thought about taking it into schools?
I have already, yeah.
Oh yeah? Okay, cool. Because I'm like, I can see you in schools.
Yeah. So I also have launched my Pocket Rockets. Which is awesome. So Rocket with Ro, Pocket Rockets, and that's my kiddies side of it all.
You're so good at coming up with names, man. I'm like, what can I call them? The Dashians? What can I call them? Dash Gang?
Oh my gosh, you need to have a family show and call it the Dashians.
I'm gonna get sued by Kim and everybody else for money. I'm like, you don't need my money. You pay more in taxes.
But no, they're wicked. They're amazing. So we've got our own page as well. And then so I've teamed up with like Notting Hill Carnival, and I taught sessions for them for children over the summer. I've gone in schools and I've taught sessions for schools. People get me in quite a lot over the carnival, like when schools want to do their carnival period or carnival show as well. And we'll teach after school clubs. Teachers as well. Teachers get me in school sessions for them.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Because what you do is universal. You can see it everywhere.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Everyone can get to it. It's child friendly, it's adult friendly. Everyone can get involved. You know, from that point of view. Has going online, was it like for me, going online was an adjustment because I'm used to people being there in person. I'm used to that human connection, that human energy. Was it weird for you to now take that fitness to the digital era where you're used to feeding off people's energy? Was it weird? For me, it was weird in the beginning, but I adjusted.
I feel like I can't even remember the feeling of it being weird because it ended up feeling so natural so quickly, I think.
Fair enough.
My main thing for me is that I always want things to be perfect. So I needed my sound to be awesome. And the biggest issue for me was sound. And I had to get over that battle really quickly. So kind of making sure that people could hear both me and the music at the same time.
I was going to say, like,
we're actual legends with that because they didn't have the option to start off with. And then they started making amendments also. So that's great that they did that. Big up Zoom for a sec. And then equipment, you just have to get the equipment. But no, because with my Zoom sessions, I always had a cameras on policy, essentially, because the only way I can help you improve is so that I can see you as well. And that's the difference between my Instagram sessions and my Zoom sessions. That if you want me to help you with form and technique, I need to be able to see you. So because I can see everyone,
right,
like they were there. And then I grew into the Instagram side of it as well. And Instagram, everyone's commenting the whole time. So yeah, it just ends up feeling like home from home.
It's weird because it's like everyone's commenting. I'm like, you should be working out. How do you have time to comment? You should be working out. You shouldn't have time to comment.
I tell them that all the time. I'm like, what's going on?
You should be able to comment, man. You should be working out with Rhona. That's the whole point. You guys are the Rockets, so take off, you know? I mean, it's so weird because in the midst of all that, you know, you've graduated, and I didn't even know you went to Bucks University. I know a couple of people from there that went to that university and always had great things to say. So now you've got the fitness running, you got Rocket Road, which is a 1-year-old company.
Mm-hmm.
How have you found just being independent? I call it independent. I'm one of them people where I'm like, if you using your brain, your talent, your knowledge of things, and you're able to create a living off of just that, I feel like you beat the system. You know what I mean? You beat the system completely if you can do 100%. That. That's because then you're the commodity and you're saying, hey, I want to get people fit. I want to get them into shape because I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about my health. And you just go for it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's always interesting to kind of figure out like, yo, people did the motivations, because you were saying earlier that you just found out like, okay, I fell in love with this. I found my rhythm in the carnival. I know exactly what I want to do. I'm going to go into this. Was there ever any doubts when you were doing it? Did you ever think like,
No, because
yes, why?
No.
Because I want people to have more confidence in themselves. I always tell them, listen, you got to be convicted. There's no right and wrong. It's just what you go for and what your heart is in. Win or lose, you've learned something. You've got the experience. So
100%.
How did you develop that confidence? Because you've talked to a lot of your clients. They lack confidence.
Yeah, and it's all about boosting the confidence, and you build that mindset. And like I said earlier, everything I've gone through, I believe, happened for a reason. And that moment that I had, that was like, this is what I'm going to do. It's like, I knew that this is what I want, and this is what I want. And I'm so passionate about it. And now I've got a whole community of Rockets that are also so passionate about it. This not working is not an option for me, because this is it's my baby, it's my company. Like,
for sure.
Yeah, my hardest thing was kind of the growth, the having to. It's that this becomes your whole entire life, essentially. Absolutely. So there was no end to my days. It was a 24-hour day, was actually a 48-hour day, or 70, however many hours. It's finding that balance, because I'm telling everyone how important you time is. I need to have that you time for me as well. So you need to know when to switch off. That was a key learning moment for me, learning when to switch off. So now I kind of find that balance. And when I say, like, guys, I'm not going to be answering any messages this weekend, they're like, yes, you deserve it. You need to have that time to yourself. And it's true. You need to make sure people need to know that this is when you're on your social media. And now we're in a time where all you're on is social media. A lot of people, and especially because you've got all these different time zones, people think they can get hold of you at any time, and you need to have that cut-off point for sure.
That's true. Otherwise, you get over-consumed and you burn out as well, and then you won't be as effective. So in the midst of all this busy entrepreneurship that you're kicking, do you find time to date?
Oh my goodness. Well, I didn't at first, but now I'm like, okay, I need to like live life again now.
You're so committed to the people. You're so committed to your work, and it's beautiful. But you know, life is life at the end of the day. You know what I mean? We can't just live and die by our work. We have to expand and do different things. You know, because I see all the thirsty people in your Instagram. So I'm like, I know they're watching. So I'm actually throwing them a bone here. You know what I'm saying? She is available and she's dating. Are you dating? Are you single?
Oh my gosh, guys. Come at me.
Fans. You have so many fans. And for all good reasons, because they really recognize your passion, and you know, you're just committed to just helping people. I think there's something infectious about that. I
Yeah.
think it really, when we do that as human beings, we really bring out our inner beauty as well. When we choose to, because you could have easily just went and been an Instagram model easily
Yeah.
and
But
sat
that's
there.
just, to me, that's not enough. It's not enough.
Right. It's what you
I
do
want
has to have
more.
purpose. It has
Yeah.
to motivate you. Like you said, your motivation is to inspire other
Hmm.
people, and you're trying to take that mentality. And in 5 years from now, you want to have different segments of your company booming, all
For
cylinders
sure.
flying, as they say. Because I know that when you're working and pressing towards your dream, sometimes you can you have to give up that whole social lifestyle and everything else like that. And
Hmm.
because people think you're Superwoman, so I want them to see that actually she's a woman too. Like she's just
Yeah.
regular. She likes regular stuff. So in the midst of all this, because out there, there's women out there that want to do a career, but they don't have to balance that with having a social life or having
Yeah.
or having a love life and stuff like that. So I thought this is an important area for, and only a woman can speak on that. You know what I
Mm.
mean? To say, how is it to be an entrepreneur and a businesswoman and be so dedicated, but yet find time to have a love life if you do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is it a
But
hard
also, do you
decision
know
or?
what? It's also quite, when you, this is what I found as well. When you become a businesswoman,
Mhm.
I feel like guys also, they kind of get a bit scared of you. If that makes sense.
Seriously?
Yeah, they're not like,
Right.
like some people, they shoot their shot and then they see how hard you're working, and it inspires them to work harder, but then they don't think that they're good enough, and it's just like,
Okay.
don't do that to yourself. Like, you
Yeah.
are, just because I know what I want and I'm pushing for it, that shouldn't stop you
Yeah.
from trying.
Yeah. It don't,
Try.
first you don't succeed, what? Try again.
Yeah,
No, it
yeah.
can be, I'm because literally I'm gonna have a whole episode with a bunch of guys
Mm,
because I really believe a guy, a very good brother that I met long time ago. He had a book about redefining masculinity.
mm,
You know what I mean? And in the fitness world is where you see it, because that's when you see the alpha male stuff, the peacocking and everything else.
mm.
Because what people don't understand in fitness is that even for men, is they're body conscious as well. You know what I mean? They're fitness conscious
100%,
as
yeah.
well. So when they're shooting their shot, they're thinking to themselves, but she's so busy. Do I even have a chance? Or
Hmm. Hmm.
if they're honest with themselves, they're intimidated.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm
It's
saying?
exactly that.
By
It's
someone knows,
exactly that.
yeah, but they don't know what to do with a woman that knows exactly what she wants. And she
Hmm.
doesn't need you to, furthermore, to provide anything but peace and happiness, really. You know
Literally.
what I'm saying? So
And
it's not
that's, I
something,
always
yeah.
say that to people
Go
as
on.
well, which is probably my fault. I always say, like, I don't need you. Like, I am my own happiness. I only want
Right.
someone to add to that.
Yes,
People,
yeah.
I feel like a lot of people think that they need someone to complete them, and
Yes, yes, yes.
I don't need that. I
Where
need
do you think it
someone to
comes
kind of
from?
enjoy life.
What's your view on that? What do you think comes from when women get into that space?
I don't know how to put it. I feel
Mhm.
like if people haven't had the chance to kind of like also live life themselves as well, then they're kind of like, they get attached to someone and they become their world. I
Right,
suppose, like, I've traveled a lot. I've experienced so much. I've been very lucky. I've lived a great life, so I've never kind of felt like I need a man to complete me.
right, right,
Some people feel like that. Some people have seen their parents in a beautiful, happy home and they want exactly that. Some people have
right,
had that missing, so
right.
they really want to try and find that, you know. So there's so many different reasons, and it's hard to comment when
It's true.
you've not been through that. Yeah.
No, it's true. No, it's true. It's true because one of the key things that really motivates this podcast is healing on everything. We want to
Mm.
heal people,
Hmm.
share some of our inner thoughts, be a bit vulnerable, just let people understand that, listen, we're regular people, but it's our effort and our commitment that makes us stand up from the rest. We put so much into what we do. And, because if there's a young woman out there that's trying to, like, I want to do fitness, like, Ro, how does she manage all these things? She's got a boyfriend. She's thinking this might be a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for the younger generation, I just want them to understand, like, yo, we feel you. And we've
Hmm.
been down that road and we've made the wrong decision a bunch of times and made the right ones.
For
That's
sure.
why I was
Yeah.
like, how do you manage that, trying to date and then you're this businesswoman? Because that intimidates a lot of guys, which
Mm.
for reasons I always think to myself, you don't have to be intimidated by anybody. A woman doesn't have to be intimidated by a man doesn't have to be intimidated by a woman.
For
But it's
sure.
probably just because you have, like you said, that sense of direction. You know what you want. But like Rose saying, keep shooting your shot. You never know,
Yeah.
bro.
Keep shooting your
Keep shooting your
shot.
shot. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're gonna give up easy, then you probably wasn't gonna make it anyway.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But she's busy. So if you're gonna add some value, then that's different.
And
but
you always make time. You always make time. If someone shows that they are worth your time, I don't know if that sounds bad, but if someone shows that they're actually worth your time, then you, no matter how busy your schedule is, you're going to schedule them in. And that's important to say as well. Like, you could have a whole day of classes and then say, be mentally prepared that you are going to go on that date after those classes, and you're going to feel about it. You can always,
there's always a way.
Someone in. Yeah.
So women, you've heard it there. It's always possible. You can do all things are possible. I think women multitask way better than we do anyway, to be honest. So they can do it all at the top level, inclusive of that. Would you say, like, in the fitness industry, do you ever, because really, obviously you work for the dance company, but you never actually work for no gym or no fitness company itself?
Yeah.
Did you?
I worked for Nuffield gyms, and I did work for the gym group as well. Yeah.
What was your experience in these areas for people that are just looking into getting into fitness or just going into these kind of working areas? Did you experience it? You know, just as a woman in general, anyway. Because when I was in the fitness industry, it was a lot of very peacocking and there's a lot of just nonsense. But what was your experience?
So when I first started, so even when I went into gyms, I said, like, I'm coming in as Rocket with Bro. I want to come and teach Rocket with Bro classes. Absolutely. No one had a clue who I was. So I just had to go in and be me and sell what I do. I recorded really cool videos of myself. I just showed them, and then it got me the position in the gym straight away. Do you know what? The manager at the Nuffield gym is a woman, but it turns out that all of the other gyms that I started at, they were all men, and they were like, oh yeah, this is wicked. And the gym group was interesting because all of the gym group gyms, their studios are open and just in the middle of the gym. So we'd be teaching classes, and it's just like all these huge muscly men just around. You've seen my classes, all about waistline. All these guys just around the dance floor, like dropping weights, all of this stuff. And it is interesting because then it's like a lot of women then don't want to come to the class because of all these guys around the session. So that was funny. A lot of women didn't care as well, but then a lot of people wanted private stuff and not there, which is
because sometimes because I always realized that I've seen some memes, and I didn't realize sometimes as men we have to listen more and realize what women are experiencing so we can learn better, because we might have a daughter, you're going to get married or whatever the case may be, just as a human being first and foremost. Because I remember seeing a meme about just the pervasion of gym, being in the gym, the way men move. I had no idea. It was so weird, but I was saying to my sister, like, I have no idea, because when I'm in the gym, I've got my headphones on, I'm in my own world. I'm headphones in, I'm trying to get my workout in and go home. Like, I'm in my own world. But I didn't realize until the memes start popping up that
what it's like
for women in the gym. Like, I don't know if you've had any experiences or things you can share.
You do. Even when I would go and work, like, obviously I now work out at home, there's no gyms to go to, but when I would go to the gym, like, I would just go in quickly in the changing room, put my stuff out, and then go straight to like squat rack or whatever. And it was like people would be tag teaming to like try and help you with putting a weight on the bar or something. And it's like, I could actually do this myself. I could put my weights on the bar instead of doing it myself. And then it's little things like when I would leave the gym and there'd be guys like come into my car with me, and I'm like, I can walk to the car as well. That's when it felt like you need to.
It's a bit like you need to back up.
Yeah. There's so many. They always try in the gym to ask you like, oh, can we go on a date or something like that? And it's just like, don't talk to someone when they're working out. Just don't do it.
So that's advice for the single guys out there.
Don't do it. Yeah.
In a workout space, you look nothing short of a perv if you try. A creep. Don't walk into a car randomly. First of all, think of it this way, guys. Don't walk a stranger you don't know to their car. You know what I'm saying?
Happens so much. And when it was nighttime, some guys, they would say, would you like me to walk you to your car? And that's when it was different. But it was when it was like walking and there were footsteps behind me, and I was like, what's going on?
Nice for people to understand, because I want the young men to really learn and understand that. Be mindful, because sometimes you might have the best intention.
100%. That's the thing.
It's how you execute that intention, how you go about it, because you could just end up looking like a creep.
Yeah.
By just doing it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You might just genuinely just want to make sure that she's safe. But
even with the weights, with the helping with the weights, sometimes that could be so helpful, because if you've done a set and you're literally your limbs are shaking, that it would be helpful if you just said, do you want some help? I can help you take that off, rather than just coming up and taking the weight off the bar.
So
I
ask the
mean,
question. Ask the question. That's what I'll tell people to
cool.
ask. So then you're asking permission. Remember, life is consent, guys. Everything is consent on everything.
Yes.
Ask her first. Say, listen, can I take these weights for you? Can I, you know what I mean? And then she can tell you, no, I'm good or I'm cool. Yeah, it's fine. But I didn't know. It's literally when I saw the memes, I was like, wow, it's like that.
That's what guys are. Yeah.
Because for a lot of other guys, it's like, bro, we're going to the gym to get it in. We got our headphones on, we know our album mode, we listen to the album, we're just going for it, getting our sets in and going.
You can see it, yeah.
But we didn't know that women have to go through that when they go to work out, and then.
And it's also things like when you have to assess an area, like you'll see wides. I've seen it with my own eyes that some women feel like they can't go into the weights area when there are loads of guys there. And that for me is, I don't care. I'll go in and I'll do what I need to do. But I've seen some people say, oh no, I'll wait until, like, and stuff like that. They just feel like they can't go there because everyone's going to be staring at them.
Is that why there's like this? I always find it a lot of big gyms, there's another weight section that women can go to.
Yeah,
it's not designated for women, but it's just another section that I find. Yeah,
it's also not the heavy weights. It's also like the weights that go from like 1 kg to like 8 kg. We want to squat too.
Oh man, the world. I feel like the world just needs to. Oh man, we need to redefine a lot of things. The world is not what we remember it as. We have to redefine so much.
You're frozen. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Got you. Yeah, the world needs to. Every time I learn more and I talk to more people, this is why I love doing this, because I get to really connect and listen to someone and begin to understand. Oh, this is how they're seeing the world, and we need to educate ourselves as people just to be sensitive to other people's experiences. Because if we don't do that, how do we heal? And that's the whole point of this podcast, is healing on everything. How do we make better choices through understanding and just keeping it real? Like, you might definitely have a great intention to just help another human being, but you have to ask and read the situation properly. If you're not good at reading situations, just ask.
Yes.
No, just ask, because she might not want you to do that. Not everyone wants you to lift her weights for her. Some women do. Don't assume that she'll struggle with it because you're sending the wrong message.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And don't have the audacity to ask for the number after disrespect the whole time. Don't go and do that. My last thing I was going to talk about as well is that, like, it's 2021. We're still in lockdown. Well, the Spanish flu lasted for 4 years apparently, so hopefully this one doesn't. Because I desperately need the summer to work out for me. I'm really hedging my bets on the summer. I'm like, I want to get out there. I want to do some work because I really miss teaching in front of people. And the last one I did was at the retreat where we met.
That was the last one.
The last one I did. And I missed that because the games I put, I feel like we're limited.
Yeah.
And then when we get in front of people, it's endless possibilities.
Yeah.
But on the Zoom, is this, I need people's reactions straight to work. There's only so much you can do, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, how is Ro doing this? Like, does it feel weird for her? Because I was like, I've got my own kind of questions. I'm like, was it weird for you to adjust? Because for me, it was weird to teach through Zoom. Prior to the lockdown, I'd never taught through a virtual meeting
before. Yeah.
So, but like you said, you adapt to it so quickly and you enjoy it because, like you said, your joy is from your own space. So no matter where you are, you're good in any setting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's the plan for this year? What's 2021? What do we need to be getting done?
Oh my gosh. This year I want to collaborate with more people. I want to teamwork. I want to collaborate with some more people for sure. To keep growing and glowing. More rockets to come in. I can feel like this is going to be an amazing year. I can feel it. When the borders open up, I want to go international teaching.
Talk about your retreat as well before we leave. Talk about that retreat, because I know you said you're talking about it, you want to manifest it. Because I went to the Your Body Goes retreat and I fell in love with the retreat.
Which was awesome.
After that I was like, awesome. I love retreats. Wherever retreats are.
Let's go all the time.
You know what I mean?
So I kind of set, I had goals when I set up the company, and I always said, it would be really cool to do some sort of like overnight stay with my like clients, which would be really cool, some sort of like spa kind of stay. And that's developed. And then our our wellness talk the other day, it's now turned into a full-on retreat in Barbados. That's where the Rockets want to go. Yeah,
Okay.
they want to have their own chef. They want to do cook-ups together. They want to do, so like our Christmas party, it was a virtual Christmas party. We did a massive Christmas cook-up, had all these rockets on the Zoom. We're all cooking together. We had a DJ. We're all like singing, dancing, cooking together. It was wicked. So they want that vibe in an actual in-person retreat, and they just want to meet each other. A big goal is for the Rockets to meet each other. They're all over the world.
That's dope. That's so dope. And if you're a Rocket and you want all these things and then Rose slaps you with the price, I don't want to hear complaints, because the reality of it is you want to be in Barbados somewhere. You know what it is. You know the vibes.
Barbados. Yeah, we
You know
had
what I'm
Turkey
saying?
as well as an
You know
option.
the vibes. Unfortunately, Ryanair does not go to Barbados, and neither does EasyJet. So please, because people will inspire us to kind of like, okay, cool, let's take it up to another level.
Let's do it.
When them tickets go on sale, it starts to slow down.
Yeah.
Barbados is not cheap.
They promised.
It's not Birmingham.
They said we're saving up. They said we're saving up from now.
Saving up from now. So my last question, Rolf, I'll let you go, is I want you to advise a young fitness enthusiastic that's probably 18, 19, scared of the world, if they're honest with themselves for 2 seconds. But they know they want to do fitness, but they're worried about peer pressure, this and that. What is your advice to those young people that want to get into the fitness industry?
My young fitness people, making your way into the world, just do it. That's the first line. Just do it, and find something you're passionate about and incorporate it in with your fitness passion. If you've got something that you're passionate about and then you tie it in with what you want to do, there's no option of failure for you. So if you like football and you like fitness, how can you put them together? All of that jazz, like be different, find something different and unique about you, which you can do. Every lesson is a lesson. Everything you do in life is a lesson.
That's what's up. It's mind, body, soul check. It's been another amazing episode, man. Ro, I thank you. I appreciate you so much for sliding through. You're busy. You've been working out and motivating everyone all day. So thank you for spending some time this evening so we can learn more about you, because we want to know where all this energy is coming from. So I think you've given people in so much than what I could have even asked for, just about where you're coming from and who you are. And even I've learned a lot about you today. So that's awesome. That's awesome for me. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Ro, where can people find you and sign up to the memberships?
Guys, you can find Rocket with Ro on @RocketWithRo on Instagram, on Facebook. You can go on our website, rocketwithro.com. If you just want to know more about my life, my travel, my carnival, my vibes, then follow Rhona 994 and feel the vibes, guys.
That's what's up. And you know the vibes, man. We out.